Hello, everybody. It's Michael from Spades Consulting, and we are going to cover why you need to stop trying so damn hard. All right, this is one thing that, especially when you're younger, you of course have the natural drive to, go full blown, try hard, make things happen. You legitimately become the embodiment in your youth of hitting the ground running. All right, same thing boomers used to tell us growing up. Take a step back. Okay, just take a step back. First and foremost, things are not going to change for you. Honestly, so like for a while, for at least my generation, a lot of my generation was hell bent on getting into the workforce and trying to change things and improve things. Um, that didn't exactly work out so well. Not because my generation actually had an effect. It's just because real life, like it's just like in the education system, it's just like with the schools. They do a really good job getting you to believe that the world is functioning in this autistic block system, essentially. Where everything has a structure and order and things make sense. And then you get into the real world and you get smacked around left and right because nothing makes sense until you start actually counting ulterior motives and what people are actually trying to do, and what people actually want. Okay? Like, when you're young, you naturally have the tendency to try to be the best that you can be, to try to be all you can be, to put your best foot forward, to again hit the ground running, to be a success in whichever opportunity comes your way. In reality, what ends up happening is you end up trying to do too much. You rock the boat, which makes you an immediate target because most people, especially after they've gone through enough tours of the economic war zone of layoffs, downsizing, outsourcing, all of those, the majority of people are have just been trying to find decent jobs that they can comfortably grow old in. All right, that is honestly the target for most people in the West now. All right, maybe in other countries it's different, but in the U.S. and I imagine Europe is the same. People are just looking for jobs that they can get old and die in. Okay, it's not pretty. It's definitely not the nicest way to put it, but it is the truth. Mm. As honestly as you get older, the longer that you are on this earth, you think about the long list of things that you could do. And the longer you live, you're just crossing more and more things off the list. All right, maybe you picked up smoking. All right, well, Olympic athlete is off the list. All right, just simple things like that. You might have wanted to get into one field, and even though you'd be extremely good at it, that's the thing. You may be looking at something that you'd be fucking great at, but it ain't gonna pay. All right. Like in my case, software engineering was one that I was going to try to hang my hat on, where it's just like, yeah, you know what, I could probably grow old as a software engineer and be just fine. I'd be fine with that. Oh, did I have bad fucking timing? I could still be a software engineer if I'd want to accept 30 to 50K because that's legitimately what most of the jobs are paying now. All the entry level for that kind of work is even the mid level now it's all going automation or it's going overseas. So that's out of the question. When you try really hard, you get really invested, and honestly, like, you know, recently I was talking to somebody who had to go through an interview. Of course, they're still in the, life-changing mindset. And the reception they got from one of the interviewers was kind of dull, unenthusiastic, just like, oh God, not another one of the young, dumb people who go in like, yeah, I'm going to do it all. And it's just like, she's apparently she started dropping hints that, in post rationalization, thinking about it, realized that, oh, she was tipping me off that what, this person wanted to do doesn't exactly work out too well. Okay, because if you make it all the way to the top, there is a hidden cost, there's a hidden price that is going to essentially put up a pretty solid barrier where it's just like, yeah, you could reach for the stars, but if you actually get them, they're going to burn you. It's a thing. It's natural to want to do your absolute best. Save it for your own business. And that is the best thing I can honestly tell any of you. If you want to go real hard mode, save it for your own business. Do not bring that to somebody else's business. As in most cases, assuming you don't immediately, out yourself as a potential threat to anybody else's job, they're essentially just going to, slowly wall you off and contain you until they can, contain and entertain until they can finally give you the boot. They might even pump you up to get you to do something stupid and then use that as the tool to, boot you out the door. When it comes to working in the American economy, when it comes, especially for normal, low level, mid level jobs, even high level, because they're not paying you anywhere near enough to justify it. If you give it your all, if you give it your best, all you're going to do is burn yourself out and be incredibly bummed out and miserable because for all the effort you give, none of it will be rewarded. In fact, in most cases, you not only won't be rewarded for your massive level of effort to make things happen and to do good for the business or for the world, doesn't matter. You're probably going to face multiple levels of punishment because, oh my god, you broke the corporate rules. You have to get this cleared by like 17 levels of management, and who the fuck are you? I'm Becky, the HR lady, and I am going to be giving you this write up today because you could not shut up and sit down. That's what you get from most American employers. Well, it's the God's honest truth. You should not, whatever you do, and this is especially aimed towards the young people. Don't go out there and hustle and bust your ass for somebody else. You do a reasonable amount of work for a reasonable amount of pay. All right. If they pay you poorly, you work poorly. All right. If they pay you well, you work a little bit better than neutral. But don't be the best. Don't be the worst. Just aim to be average and hold on to your jobs. Until you get bored of it or sick of it. But honestly, there are diversions if you start getting bored of things, but don't go out there trying to rock the boat, trying to, make an impact, do anything in particular that would shake things up or potentially be like, oh my God, he should be promoted or she should be promoted or they should be promoted. Yeah. Don't try too hard. Try just enough. Just enough. But don't don't give yourself gray hairs early trying to help somebody else succeed thinking that you'll actually be rewarded. You won't be. Trust me. You won't be. It is an incredibly rare circumstance that people in the West are rewarded for their hard work and dedication. The vast, and I mean overwhelmingly vast, like 90% of the time plus, vast majority of the time, you're going to get some level of punishment for caring more, for actually caring about your job. That actually is the easiest way to put it. Don't care too much about your job. All right. Is the people who care are the people who get carried away, and they're the people who take it too far. They're the people who paint a target on their own back. And you don't want to get ousted, especially, if you don't have something else lined up, which you should. You should absolutely, no matter where you end up working, especially if you have any kind of fire in you, you should always be looking at other jobs, better jobs, because one way or another, like the economy is already weak as it is. You're going to be largely held back by the system. You're going to be largely held back by the system. But that doesn't mean that you can't slowly rise up the ranks through taking different jobs at different companies, getting your feet wet with other kinds of projects. Just don't try too hard, relax, and don't be hard on yourself. All right? I can assure you through multiple generations now, the system was not built for people to thrive. It was mostly built to just, steady drip morphine into the poor bastards who have to run on the wheel. All right? Morphine for the old bastards who have to run on the wheel, and then, they try to put you on upper stuff when you're younger to spin the wheel faster to compensate. Just don't spend your energy trying to prop up this joke of a system. All right, conserve your energy for later use. And I'll end it there. This has been Michael from Spades Consulting. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hype, and check out the Substack if you are so interested in written content, and also stop by spaceconsulting.com if you're interested in personal or business consulting. And even though the economy is in terrible shape, I can likely improve most situations. Honestly, some situations are, extra difficult, we'll say. But regardless, you guys have a good one.